If you ask most kids when was the last time they read a book, most of them will either laugh or try to change the subject. Phones got more entertaining for all of us, sure, but I think schools killed the love for reading long before screens did. Reading used to be about curiosity and imagination. Then, school went and turned it into a checklist. So today, I want to talk about how public school killed the love of reading and how homeschool might just be the remedy to bring it back. Let's be honest, school doesn't make reading feel important anymore. It makes it feel mandatory, almost like a second job. You're told what to read, when to read it, and what to think about what you read. You're told, here's what it means, memorize it by Friday. And because of that, we are now raising generation who associate books with boredom or stress. They're not connecting reading to real life, discovery, or creativity. They're just connecting it to grades and pressure. It's not surprising that 1/3 of American adults haven't read a book in the past year. And if almost everyone went through the same system, then something must be wrong. Why aren't people reading anymore? So why does this even matter? Because readers are thinkers. They're better at focusing, imagining solutions, and decision making. They can hold a thought longer than a TikTok clip. Deep focus is slowly disappearing. And of course, blaming the phones and the screens is the easy solution, but it's not the only fault at hand here. We really have to ask ourselves why many students aren't even reading up to grade level, and yet schools are still in session. Now, public school could make this better, but it doesn't, because it still treats reading like data, not discovery. Students are taught to read for the test, to cram their minds with as much memorized info as they possibly can. Everything is measured by scores, by grades, but never from connection to what you're actually reading. Even teachers who love books are trapped by deadlines, rubrics, and standards that they have to follow because the system says they do. And sometimes that leaves no room for joy. And truthfully, that is the tragedy of our situation. So, how does homeschool fix all this? Homeschooling doesn't just make time for reading. It gives reading a purpose. And that purpose isn't just to check off another grade or pass another test. You read to understand history, explore ideas, learn business, question systems. You read not only because it's a part of the curriculum, but also because you are genuinely interested in the content that you're reading. Even in my earlier days of homeschool, I didn't have to write an essay after every book. Sometimes we'd have a group discussion about what we just learned, what stood out to us, what it made us think. That's where the real learning happened. Just because you can repeat something back doesn't mean you understood what you read. And homeschool helped us break away from that habit. You actually start to find some joy in reading. So what could public schools do to start making reading better? If public schools really wanted to bring back the love of reading, it's not about adding more books. It's about changing how reading is taught. Let students choose more often. Connect reading to real life, not just grades. Let kids talk about how books make them feel, or what it makes them think, or what ideas come up in their minds, and not just spit back what they read. Because people don't fall in love with reading through pressure and stress. They fall in love with it through connection to the material. The truth is, the less we read, the easier we are to distract. And the less we think, the easier we are to influence. Now, I'm not saying that solution is the magic pill, but I'm saying that maybe it will help and supplement change that could possibly happen in public schools. Because the trajectory that we're going on now, with kids not even being able to read at grade level, reading scores being at all-time lows, if what they've been doing isn't working anymore, obviously something needs to change. Reading is what keeps your mind yours. So yes, we do need to start reading again. Not because it looks smart, but because it keeps us human. Now, this is not to put pressure on anyone, especially with the rise of social media. I know that there is a generational shift and people are naturally more gravitated to their phones than ever before. I'm definitely using my phone a lot more than probably back then. But at the same time, my family, we still make time to read. Sometimes we do afternoon reading sessions together, and sometimes I do reading on my own. Whether that just be one page or a couple pages a day, any kind of reading is good reading. So maybe people don't actually hate reading. Maybe they just hate how it was taught to them. Because when you remove the grades, when you remove the pressure, when you remove all the deadlines, you don't just bring back books. You bring back imagination and you bring back free thinking. And in case you wanted to kickstart your reading again, I have a perfect book recommendation for you. Mistvale, The Council of Secrets. I co-authored this book with my brother, and we wrote this book during our homeschool journey. I have a video where I talk about how homeschooling helped me write a novel, and I'm gonna link that video right up here. If you want this book, it's on Amazon right now, available for purchase, and I guarantee you it'll kickstart your love for reading again. But what do you think? Did school make you stop reading, or was it something else? Let's talk about it in the comment section down below. And thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next video.